What do you think it is that investors need to know right now? I mean, clearly there's some optimism right now that it's not going to be a horrible international situation, but the reality is the Russians aren't going to like this. As we think about the stability of world markets, how big an ordeal, I guess, is your gut feeling in terms of what the Syria situation is going to look like?
Look, there are two types of instabilities, in my view, that would impact world economy and therefore stock markets and everything else. One is about just the mere idea that missiles and drones are targeting anything in Syria, and statements made by the two sides that we're going to escalate. That by itself will generate fear, and fear will generate instability. But then there is something more serious that I'm observing and monitoring. If we strike under any scenario in Syria, there's a possibility that not the Russians, but their allies, the Iranians, will strike back. Now, the extreme scenario is that the Iranians could strike back not inside Syria, but they could strike back in the region, and they've shown us. They gave us already sample of these possibilities, where Yemen. And Yemen could do a lot of harm to the maritime passage from the Gulf to the Suez Canal. That would be a more serious issue. So then that
hits oil prices.
Yes.
And oil prices continue moving higher.
Higher.
Which hurts our economy, which hurts world markets. You know, the reality of this is it's all intertwined. And sometimes it's too easy, I think, to look at the market within a vacuum of just being the market. And the reality is it all comes back to what is happening policy-wise and on an international front. And I hear you. I think these are the worries that are out there as far as investors are concerned. Fortunately, none of it's happened yet.
Yeah.
But nonetheless, we have to respond. I mean, Waleed, we can't allow a madman like this to be gassing his own people and killing his own people, even if we're not ready for any kind of regime change, and we're not in any way trying to go there from what my sources are telling me. We are still, Waleed, needing to put up some kind of stance here. In other words, that line in the sand, it's been crossed.
It has been crossed, and if we don't do anything right now, it's the law of nature here. It applies to geopolitics and economics. If you don't stop them now, what is that they're going to do? The Iranians are going to bring more missiles to Syria. They're going to target beyond the Syrian population. That's just the appetizer. They're going to be targeting Israel, Saudi Arabia, the Gulf, Qatar. And you know what is the meaning of this on the economic level, including on world economy? So it's better to stop it here than to have to engage with 3-4 fleets elsewhere if we don't stop it at this point in time.
And too often, Waleed, I think that we have seen over the last 8 years, for sure, the lack of willingness, right, to actually do what you need to do. And suddenly you're confronting the likes of a more problematic Syria, more problematic North Korea, and a China that's gotten way too used to a beneficial trade agreement that works for them and not for us. So, you know, sooner rather than later, or else you're going to have a bigger problem on your hands. Waleed, thank you. Good to see you.